All right, so now we're rendering with React Testing Library, but we also want to handle these events with React Testing Library because I'm not a huge fan of all of this boilerplate for creating events. It would be nice if I just have some nice defaults here for the configuration and was able to just trigger events directly on these DOM nodes. And that's exactly what we can do with React Testing Library's Fire Event object. Now, the Fire Event object is actually being re-exported from DOM Testing Library, which is the core testing library implementation, and React Testing Library is just a React-specific version of all of those utilities that come from DOM Testing Library. And one of the slight differences is that Fire Event is automatically wrapped in React Test Utils act function. So if you ever see an act warning, then that's absolutely something that you probably need to deal with, but you never need to wrap a call to Fire Event in act. And the only reason I'm mentioning that to you is because I see it all the time. So if you ever come across an act warning, your solution is not to wrap the Fire Event call in act. The solution will be something else entirely. Now that we have Fire Event here, we can replace all of this boilerplate with a simple Fire Event.click on that increment button. We'll ditch all of this nonsense, and boom, that's quite nice. All right, let's do the same Fire Event click on that decrement button. And with that, we can save this, and our test is still passing. So in review, what we've done here is we pulled in render and Fire Event from React Testing Library. We cleaned up a bunch of boilerplate here, and then we cleaned up a bunch of boilerplate here for our Fire Event. And then we cleaned up a bunch of boilerplate for triggering events to click on the increment and decrement buttons. So now our test reads quite nicely. We say, hey, let's render this counter. Then let's get the decrement and increment and message elements. And then we'll verify that the text content of the message starts out as 0. We'll click on the increment. We'll verify that the text content of the message changed. And then we click on decrement and then verify that our message was updated there as well. And we don't need to worry about cleanup. That cleanup's going to be managed for us by React Testing Library because we're using render. One other thing I should mention here on the Fire Event is that there are a whole bunch of events that you can call. So Fire Event dot, and you got a ton of events that you can call in here. Pretty much every event that is available to the browser, you have available in here to fire the different events that your components might be listening to.